Hello, hello. Hello. It's me. I'm just kind of drop the bot into here as well. Ah, what a good pupper. Ooh, alright. Today's stream has to be somewhat short. It must be somewhat short because I am busy. So this is gonna be rough. Oh. It's a very scary time in my professional career where one of my jobs is almost completely you know, blocked. And the other one is just horribly complicated. Security. Very scary. So I guess we'll figure it out, I suppose. We'll figure it out. Not together, of course, because I think that might be a bit unethical. But that is what I'm going to be doing, like, right after the stream, right? Is, back to work. Need to get at least one merge request in. I'm starting to fall slightly behind. So that's never a good feeling, right? Never a good feeling to start falling behind at work. But at least for these, more or less 3 hours, we can hang out. Just work on the stuff I kind of want to work on. Not necessarily really want to work on, but close enough, right? Close enough. So this is where we ended at, I think on Sunday, whenever this decides to execute, right? So we have this, you can talk to people. What I was trying to solve last time was this error here. So whenever we so it's possible to kind of pre-jack one of your movements, which is a bit strange. A bit strange. And I'm wondering if it's, I think at this point it might be better to I guess do movement handling inside of the process function, or maybe even the physics process function. But then I do need some way to suppress the original, like, move to thing. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Yeah, so if I do public override void physics process float delta, and of course, oh, actually, this will 100% suppress it. Yeah, there we go. This isn't GD script, this is actually C#. Thank you very much. So we can just do this. Oh, but then we still need to have the debouncer do its thing, huh? Okay, hold on. I think this is okay, actually. So get rid of that. Or the physics, you know, movement calculation, that's all right. It's the process function, well, that's what we want to override. So what we're gonna do is move all of this stuff to the process function. And we're gonna simplify it a lot. So we'll just pull for input. I don't know why I was so against it. But maybe it's because I'm starting to get really stressed out from work. So I'm just kind of like, just send it, dude. Just send it. It'll probably be okay. Could be a lot worse, you know? So we'll do intended movement is equal to vector2, 0. Intended movement y minus equals 1. Yeah. So we'll just have to do a big if-else chain. It's not even a big if-else chain, right? It's just a big if chain. But luckily, there's only, you know, 4 movement directions that we can possibly go in. So it's not the end of the world to do movement handling like this. I think this is actually more recommended because it's easier to follow if you're reading it. Intended movement. So this is minus equals 1 if input is action. Okay. So we can take out this part, right? And then that should solve it. Nope, we're gonna run into some errors. That's fine. Kill it. Yep, failed to build, of course. So this needs to be just a standard if statement. Ooh. This needs to be a standard if statement. We'll send it. Yeah. So now, ooh, it's a bit weird, a bit funky. A bit funky, for sure. That's okay. Ooh. Oh, you know what? Is it because of... So we are calling base process. So we're calling this function explicitly, because you have to in C#. And then we're setting the move to position somewhat dynamically. Oh, it's because I need to do this, right? Forgot. The most important part. The other part of the entire movement code that I wrote. Oh. Okay. Hold on. That's a bit tough. That's a bit tough. So I could consume the entire kind of input direction code every single time. So we could do input directions clear, right? And by consume, I mean just absolutely yeet everything about it, right? So this will be input directions, add facing directions west. And so we will only ever read, ooh, that's not what we want. That's not what we want. Actually, can't I can just do a blind remove on this, right? So I don't have to clear it, but I can do a blind remove on this. Doesn't it? Doesn't this mean I can do a blind remove? Facing directions, no. Isn't that how that works? Yeah, returns true if the item is successfully removed, otherwise false. Yeah, so we can just do a blind remove, that's okay. Not a huge fan of that pattern. I hate it when code just makes assumptions like that. Just blindly like, okay, well, if it's not there, then it's not there. But actually, in some circumstances, that's actually optimal, right? So, for example, I know that for opening files, it's actually recommended that you just kind of blindly try to open a file, right? As opposed to just you know, checking if the file exists and then trying to open the file. And the rationale behind that is in the very small amount of time between you checking to see if the file exists and then actually opening the file, things could change, right? The file may not exist anymore for whatever reason. And then as long as you're using like a very, like a rational file opening system, right? Or even your file system, as long as your file system is also fairly rational, you should not, you know, get any undefined behavior. So, in theory, that's all taken care of for you by the whatever programming language you're using, right? And then, you know, if you're doing Python, then yeah, it is taken care of by the programming language, 100%. I would think that if you're doing things at the kernel level, that might be a bit spicier. But that's not my field of expertise. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Okay. So now the animation flipping is a bit strange, for sure. Animation flipping a bit strange. How does this work? So facing direction, input directions, add, input directions, add. So these are all possible. So this is for rotating the raycast, yeah. This is for determining which animation to play. Ooh. Which means facing direction. Your count is greater than 0. It'll always take the first one. I wonder if it should take the last one instead. Right? So we do input directions like count -1. So it'll always take the... Ooh. Okay, hold on. It'll be input directions dots count. Right? So we always take the most up-to-date inputs. Maybe. Ooh. Index was out of range. Must be non-negative and less than the size of the collection. Okay. I understand. Close the... No. Alright, that's fine. You can close that program. Ooh. So that was fine, right? Like, Godot didn't do any weird stuff here. Okay. Or we could do, like, last input direction. How would you want to do that, then? Taking the first one is the easiest, for sure. So this runs in process. Oh, it's count -1. I'm a big dummy. This still doesn't feel right, but... Right. Like, I should be able to... So when I'm going up and down, right? When I'm going up and down, I can kind of wiggle to the sides, but when I'm going left and right, I can't wiggle up or down. Now, why is that? Did I do something strange? The answer is yes in almost every single circumstance, but here, did I kind of mess up my logic somewhere? Like, this is okay. Debouncing, we don't care. We can even add a region so I don't have to look at it anymore. So this is the region debounce, and then we'll just end region. Hooray. Look at that. So only take inputs that quickly. Actually, does that even make sense? Yes, it does, right? Because I always reset my intended movement to 0. But this one, switch facing directions. That's a bit weird, isn't it? So if you look at this again, you'll see that, you know, you can wiggle like that. You can wiggle side to side really easily. But when moving left and right, cannot move up. We cannot switch the sprite animation appropriately. Why is that? Why is that? Did I mess something up? Remove, yeah, so this is input y minus 1. This is, and then we add north, and then we remove north. Yep. This is south, this is +1 because we start drawing from the top left. UI left, this is x minus 1, this is add, remove, add, remove, add, remove, add, remove, east. Huh. That's tough, man. That's tough. Does it have something to do with, this part? It might have something to do with that part. You know what? No, that's fine. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, that's how you know you've been writing too much Python. I thought this is like initializing a new variable, but that's not how that works. No, this is, we're setting the facing directions here if we have a new input, or if we have a current input, I should say, and then switch facing directions. You know what? Input directions, count. Input directions. Input directions are set here. Intended movement. Move to position. Yeah, move to position is set by the actual overworld screen, because the overworld screen has a reference to the tile map, so it can actually set the move to position appropriately. That's a bit confusing, but nothing you can really do about that. I should add a note though that this is set by the overworld screen, because basically it's not a race condition, but it's like order of initialization, because of order of initialization, aka overworld units are initialized first and then the overworld screen. However, overworld units need to start calculating their move to position a bit earlier than the overworld screen. So there's a few things that we could do, but I don't have very high hopes for it actually succeeding. That's okay. That's okay. I still need to figure this out though. That's tough. That's tough. So if input directions, so this is the count -1. I wonder if I can do, yeah, I can just do something. I can kind of cheat here, right? And we'll do facing directions to string. We'll just kind of cheat. Gotta love just raw print statements. Yeah, so you can see here that, yeah, I mean, obviously, that's what's happening. I wonder why that's, So the switch statement is correct. It's facing directions that's not getting set properly. I wonder if I can just do input directions like toString. And then hopefully that should just work. It should just print out fine. Maybe it will. You betrayed me. Betrayed me for the last time. For each facing directions FD in input directions GD print start. Just so I have a frame of reference for what I'm looking at, right? Oh wait, it's the wrong level to put these at. Should be outside of the for each loop. And then we'll hit it with GD print FD to string. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So now we should be printing like a few things. Ooh. All right, I need this on screen so I can look at it. Oh, you know what? Is it because they get added so rapidly? Like I shouldn't be. Oh. I mean that still doesn't really explain everything. But the problem is this, right? Is that I keep adding, this list becomes infinitely large. Oh, you know, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's probably not very good. And does that explain why? So if I reorder these, does that explain the order of operations then? Yeah, because left and right will pretty much always override anything else because they come later. Interesting. That's a little bizarre. Is there a way to like add unique? So we do if, or is there like an add unique thing? So input directions. Get enumerator, no. Insert, no. Hey. We can just have an if statement, I guess. That's not great. But so be it. Input directions. Contains. What are the other ones it has? Contains. Exists. Huh? For each get range. I think it just contains then, yeah? Because the exists takes a predicate, which we don't want to do. Yeah, I don't know. Need to think more about that. But that's how you would do better, I guess, input. And then this one we can just call, it doesn't matter, right? Because this is null safe. So we just kind of incur a constant cost by doing that. I think, well, actually, at this point, since we're always kind of wiping out the input directions, no matter what, wouldn't it make more sense to clear it? Right, because I set the, yeah, I think at that point it makes more sense just to clear it every single time, since I'm, you know, if I'm not holding down the key, then it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, if I'm not holding down the key, I remove it anyways, so I might as well skip the middleman, clear it initially, and then just do a null check to see like if input directions contains facing directions south. Yeah, and then similarly, if input directions contains facing directions west. Oh, you know what? That's why this doesn't work as expected anymore, though. Because we're always clearing it no matter what. So, and also these should be not contains. Right? Yes. Not contains, not contains. Yeah, that kind of screws with my plan. So I know that this initially worked. Whatever I had here under unhandled input, that logic was solid. I just needed a better way of, I guess recentering myself, right? So if like no inputs were pressed or released, if no inputs are even held down, then you shouldn't go anywhere, right? So I could potentially do, actually, yeah, can I do like IE is pressed? Yeah, actually, yeah. Wouldn't that work if I would just bring this back? Pretty much bring back all of these changes. Where are they? ¿Dónde está? Alright, bring me back. Undo me. I think I have an idea. So, what is this? revert this change. So send me back, right? And then we can do if not is pressed. So if we're not holding down any button, then we should, yeah. If not IE is pressed. Yeah, is pressed. If not, IE is pressed. And then we'll do the entire else if chain afterwards. So you have literally any input. That's tough, actually. Send me back. Send me back. There's a better way of handling this. 100% there's a better way of handling this. It's just the order of operations that's kind of confusing me, right? So this is what I want. Is that it will always take your most recent inputs. So this is correct. The only instance where this is not correct is when you talk to somebody and then you hold down the key. Right? That's incorrect. Can take out this. This is also more correct. The hard part is this. Unit start dialogue. So I'm wondering if unit start dialogue. So there's the NPC overworld unit. Start dialogue, blah blah. Overworld screen. Does this have a dialogue thing or no? No, that's in the GUI layer, right? So progress dialogue. And so pause. Oh, you know what? I can subscribe to the notification. So if we're unpaused, I should, yeah. Unpaused. Oh, hold on. Yeah. I already did that. Okay, I guess that wasn't it. Yeah. I remember running into this as well. Right, so whenever we unpause, or whenever we pause or unpause, this actually is not the solution, which is to zero out the intended movement, because what happens is that this doesn't account for, I guess, releasing the intended movement, right? Because with the way it works is that we just kind of keep adding one to your intended movement, and then we figure out which tile position you should be going to, you know? Intended movement. I wonder if I just zero this out after I... Yeah, I wonder if I zero that out. Actually, this never gets zeroed out, huh? When does this get zeroed? Tile position, intended movement, overworld unit, intended movement. Where is this used? Where are you used? Where? Give me your references. So you have 11 references. That's pretty good. So it's here and here. And then an overworld unit. Ooh, that might be a problem. Actually, no, because these don't echo, so that's fine. These don't echo. Oh, you know what? I can do this instead. So whatever your intended movement is, what we can do is we can would you want to subtract? So if you had 1, -1, if you had, yeah, so if you had a vector 1, -1, right? To zero that out, you would do minus equals 1, -1. So, right? Yeah? Minus equals 1, -1, so that's 0, 0, yes. Or you could do plus the inverse as well, I guess. Okay, so we can do this. Minus equals intended movement. So this is how we zero out your, actually, is that correct? Actually, is that correct? Now that I'm thinking about it again, that doesn't really make too much sense. Yeah, okay. I didn't think so. Say goodbye. Oh, hello. Good try, Knock. Good try. Maybe next time. It's alright. We're all ducks on the inside. Try. Yeah. I always say that because you never actually become the duck. It's okay, I got you. Definitely not intentional. Highway. How's it going? It's going. It's going. It's actually a very strange feeling having like real work to do and being stressed out about it. It's a bit tough. I think my inexperience in the QA field is starting to show itself. Because I don't usually do like dedicated QA tasks, but at the new job, it's all QA stuff. And it's like, all right, well, you know, all the app dev stuff, I'm like, yeah, I got it solid down pat, you know, hit the endpoints with Postman, write out the testing steps, testing harnesses, but then it's like when you writing a test case or trying to cover all the edge solutions, it's like, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. Usually I just do what feels right, but there's a bit more to it than that. So I'm like, yeah, I didn't realize like how much paperwork there was, how much paperwork and how many like it's just handling like edge case after edge. It's like you had to handle more edge cases as a QA person than like an app dev person, right? Because app dev, you just need to be like, oh, is it a string or not, you know? Or is this a valid integer? Whereas QA is like, all right, but what happens if we do this? I'm like, oh man, I can't. I've already checked to see if it was an integer or not. I can guarantee it, but then the QA is like, nah, we can't. No assumptions. And the fact that I still don't have a real debugger on my machine is really hurting. Oh, hello, Anwa. Hello. How are you? I hope you're having a good night. I'm having an okay night. I can't go overtime today because I need to go back to work after this. But I'm committed to keeping with my schedule. Nay. Bah. No. That's your sheep noise. What the heck? Sorry, I went bah after I went nay. I was like, wait. It's just next on my list of animal noises. Pretty much a professional voice technician at this point. But yeah, no. Night's going all right. A little stressed out. Work is tough. Having real work, it's a scary feeling. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out why this is happening. So let me demonstrate what this is. So we open up here. So we have a nice movement system. We have also dialogue that just kind of works. Everything is pixel perfect. But when you hold down a position, right? So I'm ignoring all your inputs at this moment, but we do this. Look at this. I'm not holding down the key anymore, by the way. I know why it's happening. And are you gonna quit? No, I'm not gonna quit. Absolutely not. I'm just gonna work longer hours. Is this an RPG? This is a game for the GitHub Game Off 2021. Submissions close in 21 days. Yeah, but the intention is that this is an RPG. The theme is bug. I'm going for more of a meta experience here. So, you know, what if, you know, JRPG, but it's like the big bad guy has just deleted you from the world, more or less. But you still exist, but no one knows who you are. Enemies don't know you, or enemies can't target you, but they can target the rest of your party. Something like that, right? And so we'll just explore that somehow. Sounds like an anime. Yeah, exactly. It's an isekai. Just like my favorite anime. Or it's just like one of my Japanese animes. What does Otacon say? I'm a poser. I've never played Metal Gear Solid. I'm just trying to fix this one part, and then I can actually start with the battle system. Where the battle system is just gonna be very... it's gonna be like dungeon encounters, the new-ish Square Enix game. That's what he says. Oh baby, I recognize. I'm able to quote dialogue from a game I've never played. There's not gonna be any wetting yourself though. It's a bit too lewd. Dungeon encounter. Yeah. I thought it was dungeon encounters, plural. Yeah, there we go. S. What if... Like, the problem is that we still listen for inputs. Or I guess we're not still listening for inputs. Actually, wait a minute. GUI layer. How do we progress dialogue? Does this just listen for input? Yeah. So the GUI just listens for input. That makes sense because it doesn't get propagated down the tree. Actually, shouldn't That's tough. That's tough. Alright, what if... Because I do need it to propagate down the tree, right? The pause. So what I'm doing to stop all player input is just pausing the entire tree, and then I have certain things not be subject to pausing. I think that makes sense. However, this is causing me some problems. Yeah, so we'll just set this back to inherit. GUI layer, GUI layer. Yeah, so nothing should be stopping, I guess. I think that probably makes more sense. So this one inherit, this one inherit, this one inherit. Okay, so everyone is no longer doing this. But now that we can directly subscribe to a notification, what if I do this? So player overworld unit. Ooh, that's tough. Ooh, hold on. What I was gonna say is, what if I changed this to just be a constant, right? Or not a constant, but a variable that we can modify. So this is, we'll call it like float private, float input amount, right? So this is equal to 1f, easy, right? So now we substitute 1 in all of these input fields. We substitute in input amount. I feel like this will still lead me to the same problem of not being able to, or like this doesn't solve anything. That's the problem, right? So if I change this to 0, right? What's your problem? Oh, I need to break. I always forget. C# is one of those older style languages. So it allows switch case fall through, which is nice, but it also adds a lot of noise by having break statements as well. I was gonna say dungeon encounters looks cool. Yeah, but it's not, it's not $30 cool. That's the problem. Like, I think the actual combat looks kind of lame. Especially for a game from a AAA studio. So I think I can zero out the intended movement and then also put your input amount back to 1, probably. Does this solve it? Definitely cut a lot of corners. Oh yeah. Like, I want to play it eventually. All right. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, it's because of all right, I need to stop pausing the world now. So bum bum bum. Pause, that's fine. Yeah, I guess we'll see if they make a dungeon encounters too though. I'm not entirely sure they will, because it just feels like a tech demo almost. Or not even a tech demo, it's just like something that you would make in Godot over like a month. Right? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, it's because I'm not pausing. Okay. It's because I'm not pausing. Alright. Hold on, I got it. I got it. Set this to process. So we don't actually use the pause mode as intended. So everything will still process whenever we hit pause, but we will be stopping movement. I guess not. I like these sprites. Oh, thank you, thank you. I got these from... The base sprite is from a sprite generator, and then I just kind of drew over them. Yeah. I was reading some tweets. So not really an article. I was gonna say I was reading an article, but that's not true. But I was looking at some tweets from Kenny NL, about how they're adding things into their licenses for all their free and open source game assets to not be used in NFTs. And then he started shouting out other projects that were doing the same thing. And then this is one of them, so. It's like a Game Boy sprite generator. I think I still have the link to it. Yeah, here we go. One of these, 2-bit character generator. It's just kind of available there. Yeah, so what I'm doing is, I think I don't know, let's get distracted again. I'm pretty sure the values, yeah, these are the values I used. So it generates the entire sprite sheet for you, which is nice. And then you just need to flip some stuff. And then I did a few other things with the feet. I think I flipped the colors on the feet so the left and right walk cycle looks a bit better. Yeah, oh, thank you. Oh, it's TensorCat. Get outed, son. Thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Or your PRs on GitHub are much appreciated. Thank you once again. Yeah. Internet is cool, except for all the crypto bros out there that can go get stuffed. Ruining it for the rest of us. I'm farming NFTs. Hey, you know, you don't need to go to one of the big websites to create your own NFT. The code is out there. It's pretty much free. All you need to do is pay the gas fee to mint a new NFT. This VTuber Duck NFT. Oh, baby. I have a feeling I know who it's of. Please. It doesn't work. No, my current company, right? Because like I work for a big crypto firm as well, and so they're starting to get into NFTs, and it's like I don't think NFTs are ethical. I've ranted about this before. I don't think NFTs are ethical, right? And it also doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of like decentralization, because the only way that an NFT has value is if you centralize it. You have an authority that basically just gives you a receipt saying that you bought this virtual thing. That's all an NFT is. Right? So if you go to somewhere else, you know, another exchange and say, hey, I have an NFT, you know, no one cares. It's just a receipt. But it is very profitable. It is very profitable. So it's like, it would be fiduciarily like irresponsible of me not to go into crypto and work with NFTs and all that. But I would never personally work with it myself. You know, as long as someone's paying me to do it, I don't care, you know? It's the classic innocent, guilty, the lawyer thing, right? Innocent, guilty, I don't care. Still get paid. Ethical, unethical. As long as I'm not killing anybody, I don't really care. Now, if I cause you to become bankrupt, that's another thing. Let's talk about it. So get tree paused. Oh, you know what? It's because it doesn't receive the notification to become paused. Okay. So let's... That's tough. That's tough. So this notification never gets propagated down the tree anyways. You took all my retail investment money I spent on Shiba coin. You ruined me. It's okay. As long as you didn't have any dependents. I don't feel bad. Many if you did have dependents, they can go live with your relatives or something. I don't know. Do I look like a social worker to you? More of an anti-social worker, am I right? Because I work remote and work in crypto. Kids, my wife won't be able to eat. Practicing cannibalism because of you. Hey, you know what? Return to Monka, etc., etc. I'm just reconnecting you with your roots. So if you look at it that way, it's a good thing. Regular cruelty squad in this house. Nice. Nice. Alright, so we'll... Hold on. Overworld unit. NPC overworld unit. Dialogue event. GUI layer. One of these. This is tough. This is tough. That's really tough. Holy crap, this is tough. How do I want to do this? So this is like dialogue event start. Dialogue event Start. Nope. Isn't it kind of weird as well? Like Cruelty Squad is one of the first big Godot games that wasn't made by the engine authors themselves. And even then, a lot of the engine authors games weren't really that big. Cruelty Squad, that's a weird game. I would like to play it one day. I've seen a lot of media coverage about it. Seen a lot of media coverage about it. Watched the Donkey video, as always. Big fan of the dunk. Has a good selling point. Yeah, it's just like jank, right? It's like jank, but not jank. What a great combination. Feels like something that I could almost do. Oh, and this doesn't have any... Yeah, this is just an event handler, so we can just send in nothing. Can't you invoke an event with nothing? So... just needs to be a null event. Oh, you are kind of stealing from crypto bros and killing them? Heck yeah, brother. Viva la revolution. I'm into it. You know, cryptocurrency, more or less, kind of a scam. And I'm here for it. Yeah. I mean, the game by itself looks cool. Like, I had almost not almost the same idea at all, but like there's not too many games that have your, I guess, arcade style games that have your gun actually exist in the world. Most arcade style games more follow a shoot mania style, you know, shooting mechanic where you just kind of raycast out for the middle of your camera, whereas my pet rock really like Cruelty Squad's UI, very unorthodox. It's very hostile. It's very hostile. Very hostile. I'll say that. NPC overworld unit dot dialogue event stop. And so these are all static events, yes. So show dialogue, hide dialogue, I guess. So this would be public void hide dialogue because I need a handler. Yeah, I need a handler. So we'll just do hide GUI, and then we'll also drop the reference as well. So current dialogue unit is equal to null. Drop the reference. BRB. I'll be here. Don't you worry about it. I'm not going anywhere. Because I'm committed at this point, really. You know, we're on a streak. We're on a streak. I think that's okay. How do you... How do you send an event? How do you send an event with no parameters? C# event no parameters. C# event with no parameters. Events without arguments. Yes. It's just an action. Event handler and then... Oh, okay, so event args empty. Okay. Event args empty. And then just pass in null. How do I receive it? How do I receive it? event args. So I just need to receive event args. So like events args, arbs. And then we just kind of discard them. Yeah, okay. Actually, there's no reason to... What am I doing? This needs to be done in player overworld unit. So player overworld unit needs to subscribe. Actually, I think every unit needs to subscribe to this, huh? Right? Yeah. I think every unit needs to subscribe to this. So in overworld units, we'll do public overworld unit. Is this true? Yeah, I think so. No, only for player. We can have other units just kind of walk around. That's fine. It's more dynamic that way. Public public player overworld unit. And then we'll grab NPC overworld unit, dialogue event stop. Hey, call this one public. This doesn't really need to be a public function, I guess, to actually receive the, or I guess to handle the signal, huh? Private, void, dialogue, stopped. So this will take in an object. Sender, which will always be null, and then this will take in an event args, which will just be event args empty. So dialogue event stop, stopped. Well, it's fine. Dialogue stopped. Like so. And then we can also have a handler for dialogue event start. Yeah, okay. So we'll have a tile movement speed defined here at the very top. Make sure to go back to Godot. Cancel all of those out just in case. Private. Inputs. Move amount. So float. Amount. So this will be equal to just 1F. I'm not sure where this went. That's one really annoying part I keep harping on about Godot. Is that using external editors is kind of an all or nothing thing. Otherwise, Godot will fight you the entire way, which is a little painful. All right, so that's your input move amount. And then we need two handlers, so I need to add one more. Private void dialogue started. Object, sender, and then this one will be, we don't have any Godot collections, huh? Well, we will. So this thing actually uses a Godot collection to handle the list. So this one should also be array of strings, dialogue, but we won't be using it. All we need to do for these events is just handle, you know, changing the input move amounts from 0F to, or from 1 to 0, then back to 1. So input move amounts is equal to 0. Let's put 0F if you wanted to be super precise. Yes. Yeah, I think that should be okay, right? That should be okay. Yeah. So in GUI layer, whenever you're done, well, hide dialogue. I guess this one doesn't need to be hooked up either. Should it be hooked up? And then also that leads me to this problem where if we're currently in a dialogue session, I need to handle this as well by having another flag. All right, we're doing it. Is in dialogue. Is in dialogue. Or I guess is frozen, right? Can inputs? Is that probably closer to what I want? Like can input or input possible, but input possible is very long. Can input, sure. If we can input, then whatever. All right, so we can do if not can input, then we'll just return early. Otherwise, we'll just do a long if-else chain. Oh, baby. So. Oh, but you know what? That's not actually the correct solution. That's a bit tough. Yeah. That's not the correct solution. Actually, none of this is the correct solution to my problem. So even if I just change the input move amount, oh, thank you very much for the follow, anonymous viewer. Will not shout you out, of course, to protect your privacy unless you out yourself in chat. This doesn't solve my problem just by doing this. So I can't just pause because then that leads me to the issue of, you know, not, we can kind of pre-jack some movements when we're paused. And then we'll never be able to, I guess, get rid of that movement. I wonder if it's like, it's like whatever movement you have, pre-jacking. Exactly. Call it. So that's how they call it in the industry. Get with the times. We're all professionals here, knock. I feel like pre-jacking. That's like that's an Among Us term, isn't it? For all the Zoomers out there. Or at least that's what the most popular streamers called it. Like, so if you went to someone sabotage, not somebody, one of the imposters sabotage lights, but you're already sitting on lights, then you're pre-jacking lights. I think that says more about you than it does me, that you think it's kinky. Not, you know, not throwing any shade. I'm just saying, I'm just making a statement. Not saying it's a bad thing or anything, you know? So this doesn't solve my problem, by the way. Or maybe it does. Oh, you know what? Yeah. So as long as I do intended movements is equal to vector 2, 0, then that probably solves my problem, right? So we zero every... Yes, I think this solves it. So as long as I zero everything out, then any input that you make during dialogue doesn't matter. Yeah. And then we also just need to eat we just need to eat your inputs here. So if if not can input, then you should just return. Yeah, and then here we need to turn dialog started can input is equal to false, and then turn it back on here. can input is equal to true. I don't know, that makes sense to me, probably. GUI layer doesn't need to be hooked up to hide dialogue. We just need to... Yeah, we don't need to subscribe to this notification, right? All we need is this. So we can get rid of some of this stuff. So this is just hide dialogue. No parameters. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Send it. Wait for it. Alright, so this is what we have. Look at that. Input, silky smooth, also allows for diagonal input, which is a bit weird, but can't move. Still cannot move. Okay. Let's see. Do I have... Okay, so at least I'm debugging from here, so I can set a breakpoint. Where is... So we're hooked up. Oh, you know what? Okay. Break me. GUI layer. Hide dialogue also needs to do... Yeah, can't I just... Well, no, I need to call it from this function. I think I can just omit... I think I can just omit this like that by calling... Because this is a public static event in C#, but I don't really like... I don't really like that that pattern of just kind of assuming that the event is there. Like, I know it's gonna be there, right? Because it's static, so it's at the class level, not the instance level. But something about it just makes me nervous still. So private, this also can just be private. Show dialogue, also private. Actually, I think I was talking about this before, so this might be, might want this to be public, right? So show dialogue, probably not. We'll change it to public when the time comes if I have a good reason to do so. But progress dialogue, I'm pretty sure I want this to be public so that I can have some sort of timer. So if I want the dialogue to progress without your input, right? Sometimes that can be nice, right? So still technically show you the dialogue, but it's like dialogue you're not really meant to read, if that makes sense. Yeah, so progresses dialogue to the next line. I guess that's I guess that's pretty obvious, huh? Can be horse doggo. Well, you're a Steve. Yes. You are a Steve. Not quite the horse doggo of your dreams. It's okay. We can change it. Look at that. You're now a chinchilla. Only animals allowed in this house, along with me, who is apparently a potato. Hello, Felipe. How are you doing? From other instances. I thought you were a Homo sapiens. Absolutely not. Depending on the day, I'm either a duck or a potato, or an anime girl. Who knows? Could be anything. All right, so this should work, by the way. Homo duckian. You know what they say? It's not ducking if you say no homo. All right. That's not a very good joke. I'm just gonna stop. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Ducking erectus prime. Oh yeah. Oh baby. The Prime Erectus has ascended. Prime Erectus just sounds kind of weird. Now that I keep saying it out loud. Reading it, I was like, you know what? That's kind of cool. Like an Optimus Prime. Prime Erectus. Duckian Erectus. Still not really into it. Did you know ducks have like corkscrew penises? Peni? That's crazy, dude. Anyways. Animal facts with Tim. Oh, it's because I need to do current dialogue. Can't I just assume that this is going to be an NPC overworld unit? I think I can. That might be a bit dangerous. Prime Erectus sounds like an Amazon Viagra. Oh, baby. I'm into it. I mean, not really, because I don't need it, but... No overload for... okay, so this needs to be an object, and then I just need to, I guess, blind cast. So as NPC overworld unit. So we can just cast like that, and then have a courtesy null check here, because I know that this can only ever be emitted by NPC overworld units. Go back here into it. No shame. Well, that's my secret cap. We're always into it. I was gonna say we're always hard, but that's not quite the feeling I want to convey. If not, if it's equal to null, kinky. You said kinky twice during the stream. Get bonked for horniness. So app manager, so static app manager, log message, error handling, dialogue, events, but we're still gonna just send it. Is that a 24-hour permaban? No, not yet. We'll see what happens when you say kinky again, though. This is a Game Boy style thing. This is for the GitHub Game Off 2021. So the theme is bug. So the idea is that it's a game jam. Surprise! All right. Get ready. I hope you're ready for your 24-hour ban permanent. Yeah, it's a game jam. So you can find it on itch.io. Let me see. Let me just pull it up again. Really derail myself. It's one of these. Sponsored by GitHub. There's no prize money, but you do get featured on their blog. So it's like a bigger Ludum Dare, but it also has like an entire month to work on it. So, yeah, it is a game jam. The theme is bug. So my idea is, it's more of a meta idea. It's not as gameplay focused as my Ludum Dare submission. But you are, you know, JRPG protagonist. You create your protagonist and then you get deleted from the world by the boss. And so that you still technically exist. But no one remembers who you are. and like people are like literally unable to like interact with you. First jam was an intentional bug. It's a WoW jam. Yeah. What's kind of weird is that the Ludum Dare theme was similar. It was almost the same vibe, right? So Ludum Dare was unstable. This one's bug. You don't have to interpret the theme as bug, I guess. You could do like A Bug's Life. Great movie, by the way. Could be like, stop bugging me. I don't know. Don't spies plant bugs. Something Watergate scandal for all the Americans in chat. Let's see, dialogue, Sender is not a valid unit. Revive the tick. It's called bugging around. Did you play as a bug? Messing up runners. That's being a bug and landing in their faces. Oh baby. That seems like a cool idea. Seems like a cool idea. Alright, by the way, this should work. I think what I'm most proud of so far in this is that it's simultaneously pixel perfect and also not pixel perfect. So, like everything that you see here is pixel perfect. So even the GUI that pops up is pixel perfect as well. But I still have the option of not doing pixel perfect display, which is neat. It's kind of weird how hard it is to do pixel perfect stuff in Godot though. Like you got to do a few workarounds, or you need to like really commit to doing pixel perfect graphics. This is a test. Oop. No, it's the same problem as before. Oh, it's changed nothing. Oh, that's tough. We're emulating Genesis games. They never work. Bug that is a spy that has sneak into enemy positions. No, that's 2 layers deep. That's 2 layers deep. A bug that's a spy that's also planting bugs. I get it. I get it. And they're also bugging people along the way. Talking to everyone you can. And then also your listening bugs have bugs, so you need to go back through the level and replace your bugs periodically, something like that. I don't know. We'll just keep circling in on the bug concept, so we make it as convoluted as possible. All right, so something is wrong here. So dialogue stopped, blah blah. Stop dialogue. Invoke. Game jam game that uses every interpretation. It's okay. This game jam game will have two interpretations. Like you are, I guess, a bug in universe, and then also out of universe, the game will just be riddled with bugs. Because that's just kind of how a lot of my games go. Oh, hello. Oh, it's Wyatt. Hello, Wyatt. The project is going. Still working through a bug right now. I'm not sure if that counts as irony or if that's just wordplay. So this is for the GitHub game off. What I'm trying to solve is this bug here. So everything is okay, right? Everything is pixel perfect. Had to adjust a few options, and I'm also not committed to the pixel perfect art style, which is something that you usually have to do if you're making pixel perfect games in Godot. But see, the problem is, right, we have dialogue, blah, blah. That works fine. But if you hold down movement keys while you're talking to people, look at this. Whee! I'm no longer pressing the keys, so it just kind of sends itself. I know what's happening. I just need to... I need some way to reset your movements afterwards. I can't just zero out your movement. Why don't you use Dialogic? Absolutely not. That would deprive me of the ability to implement it myself. Also, I've written my own dialogue engine before. Let me see if I can find it. Godot snippets. Here we go. I know Knock was here for that when I wrote my own dialogue engine. Let me see. Do you use a text editor where you could zero out movement input values? Yeah, so what I'm doing here, this is all in C# by the way. So I am zeroing out the input values whenever the dialogue starts, and then I also eat your inputs as well. But the problem is here, right? So I'm doing unhandled input. This is just a big if-else chain, but this is, you know, I'm pretty sure that this is optimal, right? because this function should run asynchronously. And then of course, if else, yeah, else if, because it only handles one input at a time. So, and there's also in Godot, there's no way to do a switch case. I suppose I could, as long as I hard code the values, but we're not doing that just yet. Anyways, right, so if it's pressed, UI up, then we set your intended movement to go up. If it's released, then we do this, etc. And these inputs, or these listeners do not echo, so this is fine. We are always zeroed in on, I guess we're always zeroed appropriately. We'll never go to like -2. We'll always be, you know, at most length 2. I think, is that how angles work? So if you go up, how long is a vector with dimensions of 1 and 1? Is that 2? No, that's not 2. That's square root of 2. But that's okay. Anyway, check this out. Friendly Potato dialog. The first Friendly Potato file. It also had an online editor that I wrote for whatever reason. I don't think it really works anymore, but because I haven't touched this file in, yeah, since October 25th last year. Yeah, but this one was pretty sick. This one was pretty sick. Yeah, I don't really need super complicated dialogue. And even if I did, I could just go back to my old implementation. I was like, yeah, it was last year. It's been a while. I've been streaming for a while, man. Did take a break like last November. Was considering skipping today because I have work to do. But it's okay. I still need to figure this out. It's something to do with this. So I need to like what if I, instead of adding things to a vector, I push commands into a list. Something like that. But disabling unhandled input processing while you can't move work. Yeah, so that doesn't work. So the problem is, right? The problem is that, oh, that's fine. Make it a state machine is moving, accepting input. I could make it a state machine, but I feel like that's a bit too complicated at that point. It's a bit too complicated. See, the problem is, right, if we're in this position, I'm not holding down any keys. Then we go into dialogue, right? That's fine, I'm not holding down anything. But if I start the dialogue, hold down a key, then we're out of dialogue, but I'm still holding down the key, right? Wee. Wee. And then we just kind of zoom off to the left. So I know why it's happening. I think the only solution I can think of right now is to add a check to like action released. Right. So if action released is we do, or I guess if intended movements, wait, does that make sense? If we do a check for intended movement is less than 0, then we'll do this. That feels really bad and kind of invalidates all the work I've done so far. But I'm pretty sure that will solve it. I really don't like that solution. Telling you, mate, state machines in games go to like meat pies in your mouth. Are you hitting on me? I got a meat pie for you right here. Gestures towards crotch. I guess that's more of like a scat thing. Okay, ignore anything I just said. What am I talking about? But meat pies, pretty good. Pretty good. I feel like it's not like a super American thing though. Like a shepherd's pie. Is a shepherd's pie considered a meat pie? What the heck is it? Like we have a chicken pot pie. Shepherd's pie, I've had that a few times. I think like a meat pie is like its own thing, isn't it? What the heck is a meat pie, by the way? Are meat pies like something different? Yeah. Well, I guess these are classic meat pies, huh? But a shepherd's pie is a type of meat pie. There's no way that this is the correct answer, by the way. I'm trying to avoid a state machine. I really don't want to make a state machine. Because then I'll need to make a state machine for the rest of the units as well. And then I think that will also prevent me from using unhandled inputs to do all my input handling. But we could. We could. So if I did public override process, so overworld units do all the processing here, and then the physics process, all that does is just calculate your move towards amount, right? So we do public override void process. We'll still want to call base process, unlike in GD script where you need to do that manually. So switch to Rust and state machines become trivial? Absolutely not. I mean, if I switched to Rust, that would actually probably help me at my job. Since next week I do need to start writing the test harness in Rust. Oh baby. Because we need our own solution. You know, I'm getting close to 42k. 42. I thought Warhammer was only at 40k. Is action pressed? No, because the reason why I didn't want to do this, the reason why I didn't want to go with this solution, right? I keep forgetting, I've already done this before. The reason why I don't want to go with that solution of moving everything into the process function and then like using a state machine is because then you don't get the instant feedback of this. Like whatever I'm doing here, I just kind of push things onto a stack. But if I do things, I guess in the process function, then I'll need to zero out my inputs every single frame or every single iteration. Otherwise, or I guess I'll need to at least change how the entire input system works then. Still not read the book. I don't think you understand what instant means. Instant like noodles. Big fan, big fan. Yeah, but you are right. I still have not read the the book. We're just gonna send it. You know, that's usually how I handle most things. Yeah. Oh, let's do this for now. I hate this solution, by the way, but it'll work. I'm pretty sure. And then we'll figure out a better solution later. This news is 3 minutes. Process is like 16 milliseconds instant. Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that process runs, I guess, linearly. Right. Whereas this kind of runs per event. The difference is very, very subtle. But what happens is that when I do things in the process function, I assure you that Godot, you'll know, yeah, it runs linearly. But what I'm saying is that now events become ordered, right? So when I did this in the process function before, I wasn't able to, I guess, change directions when I was moving, right? So you can kind of see here that we're able to just kind of change directions as soon as I press the button. But if you do it in the process function, I need to change how I handle input entirely. Otherwise, it's biased towards the last event that is handled, the last direction that's pressed, right? OS process. Well, yeah, but like, I thought you wanted Pokemon style movement. Well, yeah, it is Pokemon style, but isn't it more satisfying when you can just kind of slide around like this? You can't change direction. Well, yeah, it's Pokemon. That's why it's Pokemon style. It's not Pokemon movement. It's Pokemon inspired, we'll say. There's a difference. Is less than 0, then we'll do all of this. Make sure at that point it's not Pokemon style. It's close. It's close. It's close enough. You know, not out here trying to do whatever Nintendo's doing. Actually, what is Nintendo doing nowadays? I've not paid attention to any of their consoles. I know they came out with the OLED Switch, didn't they? But like, that's not even a stronger Switch. It's just a Switch with a better screen. All right. Look at this. It works. I hate the solution, but I hate the solution, but it works. Yeah. Let's move on to the combat screen. So I have an idea on how I want to do combat, by the way. And also, the idea here with this big portrait here is that I'll just draw like a really big portrait and then just kind of, ooh. I forgot that you can also just click to to do that. Actually, you should be able to click here as well. What the heck? Oh, is it because it's ignoring my, something's eating my inputs? Do why? Or we can do pass, right? Amazingly, probably, I mean, it's Nintendo. Even when they suck, they win. Well, you know what they say. you win. Or as the bot may say. Hold on. Ping. There's sometimes you win. It's a pun. Alright. So I think this should work now. No? Isn't clicking linked to... What do I have click mapped to? So primary action is Z, K, and then device 0 left button. Is this not my left button? I am able to primary action, and I'm not listening completely for, yeah. I'm not listening for like K and Z directly. I'm listening for just primary action, which is mapped for me. And then this should be an unhandled input, right? Yeah, unhandled inputs. And this should be passed. There's nothing else that's eating my input in GUI layer, right? So this is ignore, that's fine. This one should pass, which just moves it along. It doesn't even process the inputs. Ignore, that should be ignore. Any HBox or VBox containers should be pass or ignore. And then nothing else should be popping up. I guess we can have it so it stops my input, and then we'll see if that works. I don't know why I want this to work, but it's not working. So we can press K. Press K, press Z to talk to the person, but we're not able to press this. I wonder if it's because of the viewport? So object picking, probably don't want that. Don't disable input is off. So we do have input enabled. Object picking shouldn't make a difference. because that's only, yeah, that's only for area 2Ds, but we're not even using the mouse. Right, this is going to be entirely keyboard driven. Handle input locally shouldn't matter either. And everything else is just pass. Oh no, it's in the background. Please don't be the background. Please don't be the background. Sometimes it is the background. Anything having to do with mouse input is a little scary in Godot. IMO. We're not scary, but if you don't consider it when you're setting up your, I guess, your control nodes, it can lead to a lot of pain. A lot of pain very quickly. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I wonder if it's because... I don't know. Anyways, let's go to this. We'll create another unit really quickly. It's quick. So we can open up the kind of the template that I've been using as well. Look at that. I think this is still implemented as well. So I think I just have hotkeys to show off the palette swap. Yeah, look at that. Look at that, palette swapped successfully. Actually, no, it's not palette swapped successfully. So you can kind of see here. I'm not sure how visible that is, but there's a bit of anti-aliasing on the letters. And so you can see the original color in the letters. That's interesting. It's green. It's very subtly green. But palette swapping works. I'm not sure what I'm going to be using palette swapping for without, like, causing a seizure. I guess it could be Pokemon style, right? Pokemon style palette swapping. So when you go to a new area, and any of the Game Boy Color games, right? It would swap the palette to something else. That might be kind of cool. But yeah, there's palette swapping. This palette swapping code is free and open source, by the way. Available on my GitHub. Yeah, it is palette swapping via screen shader. Yeah, it is using a screen shader. Way ahead of you. Look at this. Unfortunately, it's it is using a screen shader. I think I could modify the tolerance for the palette swap code, right? Why is anti-aliasing leaking through? Well, because that's just how anti-aliasing works, right? So the palette swap is the last thing applied to the screen. Yeah? Yeah, anti-aliasing applies before. So I could, if I mess with the precision, I guess it could work. Maybe. Ooh, yep, nope, don't want to do that. Nope. I guess I can't mess with the precision. Maybe I can? I don't know. So right now, the defaults, this is actually technically already palette swapped. Like the shader is running at all times, right? And then I can trigger, yeah, there's no way for me to palette swap this stuff. You can actually see that at least for this palette, you can see that it's not quite working as intended. This one's a bit better, but with the pink one, you can definitely tell that there's a little bit of the palette swap bleeding through onto the lettering. This one, not as obvious, but there's some weird anti-aliasing issue with the palette swapping. And I guess also the coloring is wrong. You know what? That's a good point, me. Thanks for pointing that out. Let's fix that. So this needs to be fonts. Probably not. Settings, outline color, no. Is there a way for me to mess with the font color? Is that not something I can do? The outline color is properly set to the correct color, which is this kind of off brown. You know, I don't think there's a way for me to change the font color. Yeah, interesting. Or is there? No, there's not. Okay. Anyways, Pallet Swap code, you can find that on my GitHub under Godot snippets. It's a GE script only library. Shouldn't be too hard to port to C#. But there's not really a ton of benefit to porting the Pallet Swap code to C#, right? Because at the end of the day, you would still need to set the shader params like in this kind of weird way. Right, and then palette swapping isn't something that you'll be doing very often anyways. So the unfortunate part about palette swapping is that you do need to manually define every single color. That's kind of a pain. Because you can, while you can pass in, actually I don't think you can pass in arrays right now in Godot shading language. I know in Godot 4 they're changing that. But even then, you're still not able to pass in arrays of vector 4s, aka colors. Does custom colors, font color work for font color in that situation? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure. Doesn't that just apply to the editor stuff? Or is that incorrect? Well, I don't even know what this does. Maybe? I'm not familiar. It's possible. Let's see. Clear fonts. So you did maybe. Do you think that this would work? Set color? Maybe not. I found that through someone trying to change the label font color. You know what? I don't think that'll work. If you're trying to do it via one of these theme overrides. Oh, wait a minute. You might be onto something. Although I think that this is, oh, no. I think you might be onto something. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Do I get a cookie? You get to do this. Whee! One of these. Stream overlay is also written in Godot, by the way. It's not stream avatars. Which is why that's even possible in the first place. I'm sorry, I have nothing else to offer you other than just free software, since that's usually what I work on. Yeah. I think that might work, yeah. And since this is the... If we go to theme, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we go to theme, go to, what is it called, label. Add one of these, font color. Yeah, you know what? That'll totally work. Yeah, you are 100% correct. I apologize for doubting you. So adjust swatch, we'll grab this hex color, go here, font color. I would like to set a custom color, please. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I just want to see the game when it's done. Well, have I got something for you? I do have most of my games available on itch.io. Most of them are pretty bad, but I think the ideas are kind of cool. Like, this one's neat. I like this one. I wrote this one on stream as well. Made with Godot 333. Look at this. Just click on it. Press escape to hide the cursor. Yeah, so it's a color typewriter. You know how these work. This isn't actually the most recent version either. So I think that the most recent version actually has some graphics attached to it. Weenus. Don't play with your weenus, kids, or else you'll go blind. Is that what happens? Is it you'll go blind, or is it you'll grow fuzz on or fur on your hands? I think that's one of those things I've never really heard anybody say. It's just like, don't do it, or else you're just a weirdo. Yeah, giant horse death ball though. This one I also wrote on stream. It's a Ludum Dare game. Volume warning, by the way. Already wearing glasses, so huh? Got him, dude. Guess we know who plays with Arwinus then, huh? Anyways. Alright, so let's talk to you. That looks kind of jank. That looks kind of jank. Ooh, that looks bad. That looks bad. Ooh. Oh, I don't like that. Yeah. I think I would need the font to be a bit bigger if I wanted the palette swap stuff to actually work properly. But then also at that point, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't make a huge difference. Like if I bump this up to 2, then it starts palette swapping immediately, which is not what we want. Probably? Maybe? I don't know. So we can, maybe it does? So if I talk to you. Yeah, I don't know. We can, I don't know, let's just keep tweaking the palette swap amount. 4. So we lower the tolerances. I know that if I set the palette swap amount to... Ooh, that's bad. Ooh, that's okay. Maybe if I set it to like 0, or not 0. What does the palette swap amount do? I wrote this so long ago. The precision. So if the distance between these things is less than the precision, then we palette swap it. Less than or equal to the precision. But we never want to set it to 1. I don't know, let's set it to 0.8. Epilepsy warning. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best not to. See, okay, this is what I was trying to avoid, by the way. So if you set the precision too high, then it'll just palette swap everything. So now we only have 3 colors to play with. Ooh. Oh, jeez. My eyes. You are now a grapefruit. So there's a sweet spot somewhere. I'm probably just gonna set it at half since we're only... All right, we're not gonna set it to just half. I think 0.4 was okay. Well, the text changed. Yeah, the text changed. The text changed a bit too much. 0.4 looks like the sweet spot. No, 0.4 is a bit too high actually, right? Because you can kind of see that the too much is bleeding through. Like the text is changing properly. Like that's correct. Kinda. Like I think it looks good, right? Because it actually gets rid of the anti-aliasing for the most part as well. So now you just have like really nice outlined characters. Or yeah, you get really nice outlined characters basically for free. Not exactly for free, but close enough that... Right, because I'm pretty sure the way that Godot does the text outlines is through another shader anyways. Something doesn't seem right here. I don't know. Do you just want to call that like it's a style? It's a style thing. It's stylized. Maybe. I think this would be a lot easier if I had some way to just manually do this at runtime. And spoilers, there is a way to manually change this at runtime. Is to change this into a uniform as opposed to having this be a constant. But I'm lazy. It would take a bit more time to do that. To build in the uniform than to just like start and stop this really quickly. Because I just need to find the sweet spot for the thing. I think this is probably it, right? Almost as close as I'm going to get. I suppose I can meet myself in the middle and go like 4.7. 4.8, too much. This looks okay. Ooh. Yeah. Look at that. I don't know, man. What was it set to before? What do I usually set this to? So we go to Godot snippets. I have this just uploaded. So it's Pallet Swapper, GD. No, it's in the text scene. It's an inline shader, which I believe they're taking out. There's a proposal to take out a lot of inline code in Godot, which I'm kind of for. I think inline code kind of stinky. He says as he uses an inline shader, but yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Like because I can't make it bigger. I guess I'll just keep it as white, I guess. Yeah. Otherwise it just looks kind of jank. Otherwise it just looks jank. All right, we'll get rid of this. Give that a save. Give this a save. Let's go back to this. So this is your base overworld units. We will save this as... Oh, there's like town person 1, I guess. How many town person? Town person 1. Hooray. So just make sure to always use this color palette and then we'll be fine. Let's give you like a top hat or something. Or maybe like more hair. 1 of 1,000, so you need 4 digits? Absolutely not. I think at that point I'd rather just use the actual sprite generator. Although I can't, right? The sprite generator doesn't have these things here. So I think the sprite generator gives you this one. I think it gives you 5 for free, I think. No, it gives you these. So it gives you 6 for free, and then I added 1 more for the side view. So you generate 1,000 manually, edit each simple. Yeah, if I had an artist, maybe. If I had an artist. But I don't. What does a hat look like, by the way? Something like that. Something like that. Ooh. Ooh. That's not what you want to do. You know what? We'll wait on this. We'll wait on this. Let's just have this work by talking to this person and then... Where I guess some people will just fight you, yeah? So this is NPC overworld unit. Maybe reference Pokemon sprites. I'm no artist. I'm here. Yes, Needle Mouse is an artist. Are you a pixel artist though? That's the question. Slightly different skill set. You know, it's one of those less is more kind of things. Actually, on Reddit, you know, I've been seeing a lot more of Hold on. How do I want to do this inheritance structure? So NPCs will not fight you, but could fight you, I suppose. But so do I want to create like just another entirely separate unit that inherits from NPC overworld unit? So they have dialogue for free, but then they'll also have the ability to fight. I think I'll just bundle everything into the NPC over one unit. Lua and Love 2D. Oh baby. Love 2D, the first game framework I ever used. Then dropped it for Unity. Then dropped Unity for Godot, dropped Godot for Unreal, then went back to Godot. Then tried all the other ones in between as well. Yeah. A pixel artist. Oh baby. Anyways, I was looking on Reddit that, I don't know, just like a lot of people are posting random like pixel art things. It's like, oh, this is how it was actually supposed to look. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I've known this for a while, but I do enjoy seeing like the CRT shader making old pixel art look like, you know, better. Since like CRT kind of bleeds the pixels together, whereas, you know, on a modern monitor, it doesn't. It shows all the pixels. Alright, so we'll have a few export vars, I think. Instead of creating separate separate things to hold all the stuff, we'll just have a few options. We'll have a few flags, I suppose. So we'll have public. Started to speak Japanese. Yes. Technically not speaking Japanese. It's more of a typing Japanese. I can read Japanese pretty decently. Not by pretty decently, I mean like probably like an N5 or N4 level, which is pretty good for someone who doesn't really study it all that hard. Alright, so this is a public bool. Is fightable. Is attackable? Is fightable? I guess is fightable is the correct thing here. It's a public bool. That's not how you do it. Get set equals false. Defaults to false. Yeah. Like, Lua is cool, by the way. But the fact that it starts indexing at 1. Like, even when I was doing like the Godot Lua stuff, the indexing at 1 thing kept biting me in the butt. It's hard, man. So this is the team. New array. Hey. Can you not do this? Or it needs to be a Godot collections array? Okay. Is combatant? Well, see the combat style that I'm going for, I keep bringing this up. I should really just leave this on screen, right? Dungeon encounters, all caps, properly spaced, is something like this. So you know in like RPGs, you'll have you know, you'll talk to one person, but then you actually fight like an entire team of people. Yeah, so something like that. I think what I want to do is almost Pokemon style. So you can see, or it's not Pokemon style, but you can see all the trainers, or you can see all the enemies on the overworld. So it's like half Pokemon style, half not, because I guess Pokemon, when you walk in the tall grass, or you're walking through water, or not walking through water, you're surfing through the water, you'll get random encounters. I'm not a huge fan of random encounters. Yeah. So you'll talk to somebody, and they'll be like, hey, I don't like you. Let's fight. And then they, you know, have their team of people, up to 4, by the way. Any more than that, and I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that. Also, we'll see. How does Godot handle this if I expose this as an array here? Yeah, okay. Okay, interesting. Interesting. So this one I've explicitly tagged as a string array. And so you can see that, oh, that's actually pretty neat. Once you correct indexing scheme, what about random encounters that you can see on screen and can avoid? Well, I suppose. I guess that's more of an Earthbound style, right? I have not played through Earthbound. I've played like half of Earthbound. I got the entire team and then just got bored. Right? Isn't the last team member in Earthbound is like the combat guy, right? The martial artist. So your second teammate is the nerd, then you get Paula, and then Punch Man. So I've not played Earthbound much, maybe an hour or so. And you're supposed to be a gamer. For shame. Played Final Fantasy 12. Yeah, I've made it to... Which part did I make it to? I made it to the... Not the next area. I guess it is the next area, huh? So there's the prologue where you... Well, no. How far am I in Final Fantasy 12? I played it for a few hours. More than a few hours. Is that the... Yeah, Penelo? Yeah. Penelo, who's wearing like the really sketchy pants. Penelo. Final Fantasy. What is Penelo? Yeah, what are... I remember just being like really bothered by like how these pants don't really make a lot of sense. Or it's like her outfit doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah. I mean, this is fan art. No, she's not wearing short shorts. I mean, this is pretty close, but... Oh geez. Not lewd, by the way. But it's like, it's just... You're wearing like a onesie, but like the thighs are cut out? What are you doing? Just put on some pants. Well, no, because it still has like the backing of the legs, but why did you cut out the inside of the thighs? Who wears this? It doesn't make any sense. Just cut off the rest and make it like a thigh-high boot or something. At this point, this doesn't make any sense. Have some self-respect. Fran is not safe for work. Who is Fran again? Let's just start googling. Oh no, Fran is this person here. She's the rabbit, right? No chains or locks or belts. Yeah, not yet. Playboy looking blind. Yeah. This is Fran. And then this is the other guy, who's also in your squad. Lulu. Who's Lulu? I don't think I got that far. Probably not. Anyways. Let's bring up the battle screen. Balthier? Yeah, Balthier. Yeah. You mean the real maker? I remember very little about Final Fantasy 12, other than it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. I like the combat system. Gambits I didn't really get. It was pretty much just like attack my target. Otherwise, like, fight the nearest thing to you. That was pretty good. Final Fantasy X. Love gambits. I didn't really get gambits. It's like, when would I not want to focus fire an enemy, basically? It's either like focus fire an enemy or like pick me up when I get killed. What was Final Fantasy X? I don't think I played that one. Is that the one? That's not the one with Vivi in it, right? Vivi's in Final Fantasy IX. Alright. Anyways, here's the plan for the units, right? So if they have dialogue, we'll go through the dialogue first. And I guess you'll have a choice whether or not they're instantly fightable or not based off of the dialogue. I guess we can also make it so that their raycast is configurable. 10 is the one with the laugh scene. Oh yeah, it's that one. Something like that. A very Pecora-esque laugh. Sounds very fake, but shouldn't talk ill of other people's laughs. Even though I've totally done that in the past. Let's see. Battle screen. So anyways, the intention here with what I'm doing is that you'll have a team here, so I'll define like some sort of data structure to slap into this thing. We can probably make it a few pack scenes, and then that's pretty much just to make it so I can modify things via the editor as opposed to having to, I guess, program in all the encounters, even though that would be more hardcore, real programmer hours. I do like having the visual editor. I am a scrub. Alright, so units. So I'm pretty sure that this will just be a node, right? We'll just create a node entirely for the possibility of creating a, well, we can make it a sprite, right? Or maybe even a texture rect. So if we're going for something like this, maybe it would be better to, alright, let's think. So I do want to be able to configure party layouts from the editor, which means I do need to attach them to a node so I can drag them to different spots, different NPCs. Which means since I already have a node, and I don't plan on doing this like via controls. So what I mean by not doing this via controls, so this is the UI, right? The overworld UI. This is all handled via controls, so you can see here that we can just toggle things like that. But that also means that it's anchored to the viewport as well. I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe. Yeah, so what if I do this? We change this to be a node 2D. This will be just like combat battle unit. Battle unit. We'll add a sprite to it as well, so I don't need to store the original position. There we go. It's beautiful. There's your battle unit. It's just the Godot icon for now as a pretty sick placeholder. It is way too big, by the way, because it's 64 by 64, whereas all my sprites right now are 16 by 16, but also it should be known that I want the battle screen to not be pixelated. We'll just overlay it on top of the overworld screen, which is kind of Pokemon style graphics. Very old school style Pokemon graphics as well. But then this battle screen will just look like this, more or less. Logging at GitHub for Toho games with Love 2D. I think the hard part about Love 2D, or I guess Lua games, right? Or I guess the hard part and the nice part about Lua games is that there's a lot of libraries out there, but also it requires a lot of, I guess it doesn't require a lot of libraries, right? But it's, if you don't want to redo everything yourself, there's a lot of libraries out there. Yeah, I used to have an entire list of the libraries I like to use. I guess this is okay, by the way. So we'll just drop this into units. Battle unit. Add a script. Get scripted. Son. X. Go to one of those awesome Lua Love 2D. Yeah, go. There must be like an awesome Love 2D list. Danmaku Love. How old is this? This is not too old actually. Yeah. We go. Let's see. Let's see. Interesting. I don't know. It looks very Lua. You have your conf.lua as well. How nice. I remember that this used to confuse me a lot, but makes a lot more sense. What libraries are they using? So it must be in library, of course. There's animate. Animate. I can vouch for animate. It's pretty good. Who did collision, or did they write their own collision thing? Looks like they wrote their own collision thing. Data management, collision. Already looked at this. Game states. Matthias Richter. That sounds familiar as well. Alright. Anyways, let's go to battle unit. So this needs to be configurable. Hold on. I'm also looking at this now and realizing I've made a huge mistake by just placing everything in the same folder. All right, let's create a new folder. This is battle. It's okay. We'll reorganize later when it's much more painful to. Battle units. So let's namespace it. So this is entities units. I guess we'll just put it all in the same namespace. It doesn't matter. No reason to block them out. Even though I did place them at different folder levels. Collision is ported from somewhere. Yeah. I don't know. There's If we're talking about Lua libraries, I remember that Tiny ECS was also pretty nice. Tiny, or pretty much anything that Bakpakin does is pretty good. I think there's Lume, Love 2D Lume, Loom, yeah, RXI. See, I even have this starred already on GitHub. Look at that. I remember this is pretty good. I think Lume was supposed to be like an underscore JS or whatever. Lodash, not underscore JS. Lodash. I know JS stuff. So it's a lot of nice helper functions. Anything that RXI does is pretty good. Lights. Nah, they have other stuff, right? Flux, yeah, Flux. I remember this. I've used this before as well. Don't remember anything else. But yeah, Tiny ECS, but ECS is probably I don't know actually. If you're doing a bullet hell, that might be nice to have. You know, if we're theory crafting about nice to haves without actually doing any implementation. ECS, gotta love it. What stats do we need here? So we need. What stats do things usually have? We're gonna make it pretty basic as well. So hopefully I can just drop everything into the same file, more or less, right? So you'll have a level, and then we can define this as an export var, probably. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Public integer. Do I have access to uints? I do have access to uints. I'm not sure if that can actually be exported to Godot though, so we'll just stick with integers for now. Level get set is equal to 1. Then you'll have your stats. We could break it out into a separate class, but I'm not going to. No, so I'll be right back. I need to refill my drink. Hello, I'm back. Baby, come back. So just kind of referencing this, right? So we have, I think I want speed to be a very primary stat. He says as he's not about to do a speed stat. We'll just do everything as integers. You know what? Welcome to the team, uint. What happens if you underflow an integer, unsigned integer? Doesn't it just wrap back around? Yeah. That's okay though. It just means you need to do some type or I guess value checking before you actually apply a value. You know what? That sounds like a pain. It would be nice to use uints, but I don't care enough. So you'll have health. Also a get set equal to probably just 10. Public integer mana. I don't know what PD is in this context, but I'm not copying it word for word anyways, but I am taking a lot of design inspiration from it. So 10 mana, or 10 health, 10 mana. And then we'll also start exposing these to Godot as well. So it's easier to configure. And then at that point, right, once I configure everything in Godot, actually, would I want these to be configurable in Godot? Does that even make sense? Or would it make more sense to like just set these in the, like a constructor somewhere? Since I would presumably need to if you're doing a more complex battle system, something that's more complex than like attack, defend, and run, then how would you do move sets in a configurable way? So I could use enums. I could have just like a big list of enums that you could select, and then those enums would be available from some helper class inside of battle unit, right? So that you know, we would have skill 1, skill 2, skill 3, skill 4, which can also be set at runtime. I was about to say like, you can make the skills be just entirely separate Godot scenes, so you can drag and drop, where you know, real drag and drop programming hours here. I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not. I still have not completely ruled out that idea, which should tell you enough about how highly I think of it. Public int, I don't know. What primary stats would people want to have? So there's strength. Congratulations, a strength of 1. Public integer. Dexterity. Just start naming all the D&D stats you can. I think I only want 4 stats as well. So we'll do intelligence. I also had to say it intelligence just so I can make sure I spell it right. And then speed. Or agility. That's not how you do that. All right. So I'm thinking I'll make all of these configurable from the editor. And then also have like an enum class somewhere and expose that as well. If that doesn't work, then I can just make skills different scenes, different text scenes, and then that'll also allow me to kind of encapsulate like graphics and stuff a little better as well. Since I'm assuming this looks like there's like effects going on screen, right? All right, this says fire breath. I'm assuming the characters don't look super washed out and orange all the time. So that's probably okay. Nope. Nope. So export, there we go. And then what after this? What would we want after this? You're not supposed to do this, by the way, but we're doing it. Just defining an enum in the same file. That goes against code. Coding standards. That's all right. Why give me the ability to define multiple classes in the same file and tell me not to do it? I suppose it's for the same reason that was it C allows you to have go-to statements, which is pretty sick. Big fan of the go-to. I still want to go back to writing that Lisp one of these days. I think that would be fun. And then probably whenever Godot 4 comes out, since Godot 4 has better support for, you know, functions as first class things. First class citizens, yes. So you can pass functions around without having to explicitly create a function ref in Godot 4. Apparently people are saying that the Godot 4 alphas or pre-alphas that are out right now are fairly stable, so maybe I should look into that one of these days. Enum skills. So you'll have probably none, right? So none. I don't know, strike. Smoke screen. Yeah, all right. I got nothing else, right? But that's just so I can do something like this, which is using Godot collections. This will be an array of skills, and then of course skills. Get set is equal to new array of skills, empty array. Nice. So give it a save. We'll also hit it with one of these, not FP bot. Well, we will push this to my own GitHub. Git status. Oh, I've just completely messed up the name of this. You know what? Close it. We'll close it and then we'll yeet it. So RM, assets, entities, units, town person 1 pixel dot pixel. What are you doing? That's not how you do it. Git add all. Also, is it weird that I use git add star as opposed to git add -- all? I feel like whenever I see people use you know, git commands, they usually use the flag as opposed to all. But I've always known it as the star. I've always done it using the star. Only because that's how I was taught to do it. And I've just never ever changed my ways. Let's see. We'll do, what did I even do? Fix dialogue. Bugs, start work on combats. Hooray. We'll push that. I just completely messed up the password. There we go. Please no hackerinos. I think my password is, yeah, My password is like more than 15 characters, so good luck. And I've gotten really fast at typing it. Yeah, that's kind of how most of my passwords are. Like I have an algorithm plus some randomness associated with it. Although I was also reading an article, right, about how I think for a lot of passwords, like it doesn't matter about, I guess, how you structure the password. Like, yeah, there's of course the XKCD, and narrows it down to 50 trillion possibilities. Oh, baby. I never said it was all ASCII characters, though. Could be Unicode. You never know. Length is the only thing that matters. Nah, man, it's the... It's how you use the password that makes the difference. Size doesn't matter. So it says people with short passwords. I'm gonna be honest, I on a lot of my personal computers I use how many is that? That's 2, 4, 6, 7. I use a 7-character password. That's really easy to type in. But the only problem is that you need to actually get your hands on one of the computers and then guess the 7-character password. But no, I was saying that like I thought it was just a meme that you know, if you just chose like a random string of words, it would be more effective. But no, yeah, I mean, random string of words, saw the math, had to explain to me. I was like, oh, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. You know, no one's gonna be out here guessing your password by hand, right? But the computer is, you know, you write a program to guess your password, it's gonna take forever, right? Because you can't make any assumptions. Oh, look at that. It works. Look at that. So we can define an array, and then also the enums just kind of work out of the box. That's really cool. Neat. I mean, yeah, it really is the physical safety. At that point, someone could just rip out the hard drive or something. Yeah, unfortunately, a hard drive is encrypted. It would take you forever, right, to unencrypt the hard drive if you didn't know the passphrase either, right? At least as long as you have a fairly reasonable or reasonably sized password. All right, so this is the battle unit. I suppose it should be like the abstract battle unit, huh? Well, that's okay. So Windows has done the encryption correctly. Yeah. Actually, let's be real. My hard drive isn't encrypted, so like, please don't break into my place, murder me in my sleep, and then steal my computer. I suppose like you could just steal my computer without murdering me in my sleep. Remember some strange hacks during the XP days. I don't know. I was still a smooth brain back in the XP days. All right. So this is what we have. I need to close this. So how do I do this now, right? So this is, oh, well, battle. I guess I could I don't know. This doesn't count as a circular reference, not just yet, unless they require each other, but they won't. Hopefully, if I structured this correctly. So, Godot collections array. That's okay. And now we have an array of battle units, or things that at least inherit from battle units. So, array of battle units. How does Godot handle this? I'm interested. So we build the solution, NPC overworld unit. Ooh, okay. Doesn't handle it very well. Ooh, okay. So you need to quick load. Okay, interesting, interesting. It does not like it when you do that. What's not much, dog. What's up with you? Out of memory? I think the idea that I had written down was like out of mind. But because get it? Because the idea is that everyone forgets who your character is, haha. But then it's also like out of mana, haha, because it's an RPG, haha. There's layers to the wordplay. But yeah, I guess out of memory also works. Out of mana, out of memory, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind, you know? You know that saying? Alright, so we can do this as a bunch of pack scenes, by the way. It's a pretty good name, TBH. Oh, thank you, thank you. I worked pretty hard on it. It was like the first name I could think of, and I was like, I like it. Has a lot of meanings. And we can always change the acronym later. Or we don't even need to use that name, right? But it is really easy to write, which is the best part. Yeah, so boom. Yeah, here's a new pack scene. There we go. And so every single unit, or every single battle unit will just inherit from this one. The most important part, yeah. It's easy to write. It's memorable, more or less. I think, unfortunately, since it is like out of memory, I think if something happens and I just see in the logs, I'll be like, oh no, did I just... Did we memory leak? Oh no, that's just what I called it. Imagine naming your game after a system crash. Or I guess it's not a system crash, but a sandbox crash, right? Don't most apps run sandboxed, don't they? That's how applications work. Automatically sandboxed by your OS. Alright. So let me think. Depends on the OS, I guess. I don't know. I don't handle most of that stuff. Like, isn't I know JVM is more or less sandboxed. I think. Probably. Kind of talking out of my butt at this point. I know browsers are sandboxed, or at least browsers execute things in a sandbox. I don't know if browsers themselves are sandboxed. I know that pretty much anything where you can manually poke memory is not sandboxed. So like, if you can manually reference a memory address, so Rust, not sandboxed more or less, but you need to explicitly call it unsafe. C, not sandboxed, right? Although you can try to run it in a sandbox, I think. Isn't that how that works? Public void. What do we want to do? Because I'm pretty sure everything else will just be handled by the battle screen. So here's what I'm thinking, right? So we have a battle screen. This is what it looks like, is just this big rectangle here. I think you're confusing a lot of things. Yes, I am very confused at the best of times. So your battle screen, and then we'll have a few, I guess, just points set up on the screen. That's a bit tough. What if I do... We can use control nodes to kind of handle spacing. That's a bit weird to use control nodes for that, but I know that control nodes will also just automatically scale to the screen size. Maybe. Drilling deref pointers in a VM is a null pointer exception, but I don't see why you can't seg fault it. Is that sandboxing? Maybe, I don't know. I don't handle programming at that level. But possibly. Like, wouldn't you need to... I think if you... I don't know. I don't know. It's impossible for me to speak about that because I've never seg faulted Java before. I have seg faulted C code before, so that was cool. When I was playing around with SDL, or SDL2, I should say. Public void. Well, we can have public battle unit. We can have a few type checks, why not? So if skills dot count is greater than, I don't know actually. What am I trying to do here? So given a UI that looks like, where's my mouse? Given a UI that looks something like you know, like this, right? So you have your character portraits, you know, that's your person, etc., right? Something like that. And then you have your health bars over here, which may or may not be in line with the character, depending on, I guess, the situation. That's what we're going for, I think. Wow. Seg faulting C is like step 1 of learning C. Oh, baby. Well, yeah, there we go. We're already on to the second step of learning C. It's pretty much entirely only like Raylib experience. Right, and then this is your, I guess, your action bar, or your speed bar, right? So this is your turn order. So you'll have, yeah, like your turn order goes this way. So whenever a unit gets to the middle, then it's their turn. So it's possible to have units take their turns at the same time. And then your control scheme. How did the controls work? Or how would they be laid out? You give up, I think that's correct. Nah, it's, you know, dive deeper into alcoholism. Pray to the dark gods for help and guidance. And then become a master C programmer. As far as I understand it. I don't know, actually. Like, I'm trying really hard not to look at the actual control scheme for this. I guess you would just have like a bottom bar, right? You just have a bottom bar that's like rectangle, and then you would have step 400 or something. Step 2 through 400 just pray. Yeah. Well, until you know, you can't just make a deal with the dark gods immediately, right? That's what all the prayers for. And slowly you become corrupted. Actually, you know what's been pretty interesting so far? Let me see if I can find it. It's on Twitter. That's how you know I'm a freaking boomer, man. Look at this tweet. Let me email this tweet to you. I found this delightful tweet that would tickle your fancy. Let me see if I can find it though. But it was some concept artists that were doing like a thing. I don't know. Like almost like a Twitter-driven like D&D session, which is kind of cool. boomer. Sure, that too. Degenerate? Yeah, maybe. I mean, degeneracy is something that you just have to accept. Once you become a programmer, there's no going back. You know, degeneracy, not really a choice. It's something that is obtained, a taint that can never be washed off. Once you've been soiled with degeneracy, there's no going back, etc., etc. I can't find it. There's also like a reason why I'm like scrolling through my Twitter feed on my other screen. It's so that you can't see. Some of this stuff is kind of not safe for work. It makes me a bit uncomfortable. There we go. Anyways, I found it, but I'm not going to show it to you. Goodbye. Get blue balled. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I was thinking about it while I was saying like, oh, some of this stuff is a bit too degenerate. I think actually showing some of that art on stream might require a trigger warning as well. It is pretty gory, which is why the entire D&D thing they were doing was pretty neat as well. It's like they do like it's a very, very like religious art style, but it's like in a like ultra dark fantasy setting. Yeah, TOS. Yeah, it's like people who are may or may not be in various stages of nudity, who are also missing bits and pieces of themselves because they're, you know, flagellants and whatever. It's like it's pretty intense. It's hardcore, dude. Which is why I don't know. It's the imagination. It gets the thoughts running. It's very like it's very heretical, we'll say that. So you have your, I guess you would have your primary unit that's currently taking their turn would be like outlined like that. And then you would see their various attributes. Well, of course you would have like your health. Would health be red, or I guess your mana would be blue? So this is your mana. Health would be red, so that's your blood. And that it wouldn't be a bar. It would probably just be like text, but maybe it would be a bar. I don't know. And then you would have other stats as well. Yeah, and then in this bar here, lower down, you would have, I guess your standard, basically your standard Final Fantasy skill menu, right? So you would have, you know, option 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And there would, you know, text options, and then it would expand out to this bar whenever you clicked on something. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Not especially impressive. So let's see. Control full rect. So this will be your GUI portion. So this is your GUI layer, I guess. And then we'll only really take up the bottom part of the bar. And the reason why I'm explicitly putting like just a control node all by itself is so that I can attach a theme to it. And then this theme will propagate down to all the other stuff. Even though there's only going to be one thing, but it's just good practice, right? Panel container. So, full rect for now. Oh, you know what? I don't want to use the same theme. I don't want to use the same theme. That's a bit tough. Also, how does this look? Is this enough space? It's probably enough space. But we can expand it out later. The hard part is that I need to be able to position these things. I want, like, the idea is that I want to have positioning for free without having to recalculate the screen size. And especially because this battle screen is supposed to be overlaid on the overworld screen, which is why I can't just have like a no 2D plus some cameras. That's the idea, is that this entire thing will be overlaid over this. Yeah, so we'll be mixing arts, or I guess pixel sizes as well, but that's all right. Just don't tell a real pixel artist about it. We should be fine. It's your GUI layer. So this is your, I guess, your control contain, or yeah. Just call it controls. Battle screen. Why did I do this? Battle screen. So also don't want to be doing any of this pausing stuff. I think we'll want to be calling some random events instead. So if skills count, let's add a to-do, like to-do validate skills, question mark. And then how does this look? Right now it's just the GUI layer and then the controls, or player controls, right? The enemy has their own implicit controls. Yeah. So, private control, GUI layer, private panel container, player controls, public override void. Hit it with one of these. Doesn't extend from anything, so we'll just hit it with a get node after this. Equals get node. And then GUI layer. Similar for this one. Still trying to. The reason I'm not talking right now is I'm thinking about how I want to do it. The easiest way would be to position it, like position the spawn points based off of the anchor points in the GUI layer, but that might not actually be the easiest way to do it now that I'm thinking about it. I could just slap some random controls down, right? So if I just do control, like this is a-okay, no problems here. Margin, we don't need margins, right? But we can anchor, we can set a manual anchor point, and then based off of the rect position, we can do, you probably don't want to do 0.3, probably like 0.2, 0.2. And then based off of the rect position, we can start, you know, positioning everything. So this will be like 0.1. So maybe even 0.2, right? 0.2. And then you'll have your, I guess your turn bar, your turn bar. It's not really a turn bar since units can take their turn at the same time. And also talking about taking your turn at the same time. What happens if your units take their turn at the same time? Guess we'll just have to do like the Pokemon style thing and just, you know, whoever is higher order in the party will take their turn first. We'll think about that. But this is going to be just the enemy anchor. And we'll duplicate this. This is the player anchor. Wait a minute. Wouldn't it make more sense to have the player units on the left and the enemy units on the right? Yeah, okay. I think I was basing this off of too much of this. Yeah, I think doesn't it feel better to go to attack from left to right as opposed to going from right to left? I think attacking right to left is more of like a Japanese style thing, right? Maybe. Maybe that's racist, I don't know. Like, I know, like, you know, reading right to left, sure. If I'm reading manga or something, I'm not drawing a manga, though. Attack back to forward. What's back to forward? Like Pokemon? Yeah, Pokemon, you start in the, I guess the bottom left here. And then you attack in the top right. You face the enemy? Absolutely not. That sounds like it'll require too much art. I think I'm trying to go with this style, which is just left to right, or I guess in this case it's right to left. With a few other tweaks, just to make it slightly more interesting. Like Shin Megami Tensei. First person RPG? Could do that. But the current plan is just to overlay this battle screen on top of the overworld screen. Like a first person turn-based RPG. Isn't that what Ultima was? I've never played Ultima, but where Ultima Underworld was first person, wasn't it? I've only read articles about it. It's way before my time. Enemy anchor. First person turn-based shooter. Oh baby. Isn't Doom had a Doom RPG when it was back on phones was a turn-based shooter, wasn't it? I don't know. I wasn't allowed to play phone games in the pre-smartphone era. Thank you, anonymous viewer, for the follow, by the way. Will not out you until you talk. That's real. Yeah. Isn't Doom RPG? It was like it was Doom, but like in RPG format, but from the same viewpoints as Doom. Remember Zune? I had a Zune. I only bring that up because instead of saying Doom, I said Zoom. Which is not Zune. Everyone knows Zoom, I guess. It's amazing. Yeah, you could probably play it for yourself, right? Because I think the game wasn't that complicated. Although I highly doubt you would be able to find an emulator, but you can probably find like a remake. Unless you wanted to get like I had a LG Music. I think it was eligible to play Doom RPG. So you probably could. Doesn't seem turn-based though. Wasn't it turn-based? I don't know. Doom RPG? Mobile game? Was a mobile phone game developed by Fountainhead Entertainment. The website for Doom RPG states that the protagonist in Doom RPG is the same. Just from the pictures. I don't know. I thought it was turn-based. You could probably like look up a video or something. Like, I don't know. This doesn't look like this looks like a classic first-person dungeon crawler, doesn't it? You're right, it's turn-based. I know things. I don't know things that often, but I know things. Sometimes. Okay, so now we have all our GUI elements, right? Alright, so here's the hard part. How do I insert the player units into the battle screen? So from this perspective, please don't crash. Oh, okay. So from this perspective, look at that. It's beautiful. It's very Pokemon style. This guy doesn't have any units attached to him, so it's fine. You can do, hello, this is a test. Goodbye. Enjoy your day. Hello. Yeah. So it's almost Pokemon style. I think I could, if I really wanted to, I know how to make it more restrictive. So for one is only to take the first input, or I guess the last input you pressed, as opposed to combining inputs. That would actually make a lot of the input handling a lot easier as well, because I don't need to build in support for 2 inputs at the same time. But I don't know. Maybe I'll do that, because this doesn't feel too good. I thought this would grow on me, this kind of like sliding around. But the more I kind of play with it, the more I'm like, oh, this feels bad. You don't need diagonal. I wanted diagonal inputs. But it just doesn't feel good. For I guess obvious reasons, right? Because it's tile based. But yeah, here's the idea. It's like almost Pokemon style. So you have like units, they walk around. Boom, they'll notice you get stopped. You'll go into a fight. Looks all without an 8-way sprite. I mean, a lot of games make it work, right? A lot of games make the non-8-way sprite work. Didn't Final Fantasy VI didn't have 8-way sprites, right? Well, I guess that was only the overworld where you can move in more than 4 directions, right? But this still works. Hello, this is a test. Goodbye. And then we'll probably also want to do like a center align as well, just in case. Yeah. And then once you talk to a unit that's fightable, so is fightable on, I guess I'll need to work on the dialogue engine. But the dialogue engine, not too bad. I've already written it once in GDScript. And then also, because I'm doing this in C#, right? You can just pass along functions as arguments, I think, hopefully. And then you'll, once we start a battle, how do I want that to work? So we'll create the battle screen. So overworld screen will need to have a reference to the battle screen, I guess. Maybe. So this is in screens. No. Screens overworld. It doesn't need to have a reference to it, right? Everything can just be in screens. So now game screen has everything it needs. Actually, no, that's why I split it up, but... Alright, send me back. Undo me. This is now the overworld screen. This is now inside of battle. Overworld screen will need a reference, or it needs to import from. I think that's how I want my data flow to go. So game screen has an overworld has a battle screen. Yeah? That makes sense. And that way we also avoid circular imports, which I'm very guilty of in when writing Golang. I don't know why, but I just seem to be prone to writing stuff in a circle. Mostly because I'm very bad at pre-planning until I actually have written something. Oh, and you know what? I'm overtime. I need to work. I need to go back to work. Oh, no. We'll be working until probably like 1 or 2 a.m. here. Life comes at you fast. Also, I need to like at least knock out at least 2 to 3 tickets a week. Ugh. So, thanks for tuning in. I'll be live tomorrow from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. If you haven't given the channel a follow already, I encourage you to do so. I do my best to You know, maintain a pretty steady schedule. Have a Discord, LinkedIn chat if you want. Everything that you can see here is more or less open source or will be open sourced. So this thing, open source. Yes, I wrote this in Godot. I have 2 stream intro screens running for whatever reason. But that's also written in Godot. This is also written in Godot. Look at that. This is not your regular stream avatars. Gets sense. Also, the bot was also written by me. And yeah. That's pretty much it. Let's find someone to raid, why don't we? Any suggestions? Anyone doing Godot, we should say. Anyone doing Godot? Alright, so there is... Anyone doing Godot and also isn't like Jitspo? Sorry, Jitspo. Let's raid Wyatt. I feel like I raid Wyatt a lot, but... You know, also has a VTuber thing going on, I guess. If you're into that. Also streams pretty consistently, so. Anyways. What was the spiel I usually go through? Give the channel a follow. Discord, GitHub. Everything is in my description. Find all the software there, free and open source. Goodbye. Oh, I'm streaming tomorrow from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Goodbye.